Good morning, this is Darren Clable, the State Fire Meteorologist for South Dakota, and this is your fire weather situation update for today, Monday, January 31st, and it's going to be valid for today through tonight and into early tomorrow morning. We do have some interesting fire weather conditions developing across the state, and hopefully this will give you a better idea of what we got going on. So we do have a red flag warning in effect from 1300 and 1900 today, and that's these colors down here across southern South Dakota. And it doesn't extend into Nebraska as well. In addition to that red flag warning, we do have a high wind warning in effect for the northern and northwestern parts of the state, and then a wind advisory in effect kind of for everywhere else. So today's definitely, this afternoon and this evening and overnight tonight are going to be windy for sure, but we're definitely looking at enhanced to critical fire weather conditions developing across the southern part of the state today. Looking at our ERC values, this is the output from yesterday, but we can see that really in the Black Hills, central, southern, eastern Black Hills, we're looking at ERCs at many of the stations above the 97th percentile, extremely dry fuels for this time of the year. And of course, there's some areas here that are, below 50th percentile across the southern part of the state. I haven't traveled down there, so I don't know what the conditions are exactly on the ground. But I do know one thing: they haven't gotten a lot of precipitation down there. So, and the fuels are exposed. They're not covered in snow. So I do know that from that standpoint, we are looking at dry fuels and critically dry fuels on the eastern side of the Black Hills. And this is precipitation since the start of the year. So precipitation since 1/1/2022. And if you look across the state, it really haven't gotten much precip anywhere. Ignore this reading, that doesn't really matter. But anywhere's from no precipitation all the way up to maybe a quarter inch in places. But under the threatened area across kind of southern South Dakota, really less than 1/10 of an inch over the past entire month. So fuels are very dry, and we've also had a lot of wind during this period and much above average temperatures for the most part. And so the fuels out there are going to be susceptible to burning. If we look in the Black Hills too, not a lot of precip. Northern Black Hills has got a little bit of snow, but Terry Peak is running short. I know the trails up there are running short, so it's just not a lot of snowfall anywhere. I should say that the northeastern part of the state does have snow cover right now too. Looking at our drought monitor, we are still in abnormally dry to severe drought across at least 3/4 of the state. The northeastern part of the state, pretty drought free, but drought conditions across the western part of the state are still there, and are just kind of exacerbating that fuel dryness condition. This is a satellite image of the state of South Dakota. The Black Hills are right here. The Missouri River runs through there. So South Dakota, I don't know, something across like that. But basically the northern hills into the Bear Lodge Mountains does have a little bit of snow. And then there's our snow line across the northeastern part of the state. The rest of the white stuff you're seeing here across western South Dakota is just cloud cover. And this is taken from 2 days ago. And so again, the critical fire weather conditions are across those areas where we're not seeing any snowfall or we don't have any snow cover. So high temperatures for today, we are going to be into the 50s to even near 60 across southwestern and south central South Dakota. This is really close to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So very warm conditions, much above average conditions for this time of the year, and warm statewide. Minimum RHs today are going to be down near 10%. So 10% down here, maybe 16% over here. And then, of course, we get much higher RHs across the northern half of the state, but that's not really where we're concerning ourselves with too much today. It's really in these really dry areas. The other thing we're looking at is a northwesterly to westerly wind. You can see the wind barbs and kind of a southwesterly wind going to a southerly wind over on the eastern side of the state. But those strong winds, this is showing sustained winds from, right around that 20 to 25 mile per hour area. And if we go to wind gusts, if we look at this bottom red on the bottom, we're looking at gusts to 35 plus across southern South Dakota into southwestern South Dakota and then the northwest part of the state. And this is inclusive of the Black Hills as well. And so we're looking at very warm, very dry, very windy conditions across the state today. Now, those gusts are going to actually increase overnight tonight. This is wind gusts at 2 a.m. Central, 1 a.m. Mountain Time tonight. And these are going to be winds out of the northwest. We're going to have a cold front come through late this evening, and that's going to bring in much stronger winds. and that goes for the Black Hills and much of the prairie. Down here, kind of in the shadow of the Black Hills, you're not going to get a lot of wind, but strong northwesterly wind gusts, anywhere from 35, maybe even up to 50 miles per hour, and gusts in some places higher. So if we do get some initial attack this afternoon that goes beyond initial attack this evening, do look for an increase of winds out of the northwest overnight tonight. HDW, again, the hot, dry, windy index. These colors are representing the HDW probabilities of exceeding the 95th percentile for today, this afternoon. And really, for most of southern part of the state, we're going to exceed that 95th percentile. So climatologically, historically speaking, this is going to be one of the warmest, driest, and windiest January 31st that we've seen. So a lot of concern out there for wildfire, and there's a lot of potential on the landscape. This is our max daily HDW for today. This is in the White River area. This is going back 10 days to today, and then a forecast for the next 6 days. The different lines just represent different kind of weather model members that go into it, but just all of them are clustering above the 95th percentile, which is in this brown colors, which gives us high confidence that we are going to exceed the 95th percentile HDW today in the White River area. Same kind of graph for the Custer area. Again, we're going to exceed that 95th percentile. So in summary, critical fire weather conditions this afternoon and this evening with strong northwest winds to continue overnight tonight, which is a concern if we do get fires today. Critically dry fuels in a lot of places, no snow cover, and a lack of precip. Not much precip at all since the start of the year. As always, I'm available via email or phone if you would like to discuss these conditions further. But have a safe day, and let's just hope that we don't see any starts on the landscape.